What's up, traders? It's Alexis, Chief Content Creator for Smart Prop Trader. I had the pleasure of interviewing Ryan Lepper, SPT's COO, and I think you're going to love this conversation. We dive into his background, what led him to Smart Prop Trader, things he's not so happy with in the prop firm industry, and his upcoming world tour. So let's get into it. Hey everyone, I'm Alexis with Smart Prop Trader here with Smart Prop Trader's COO, Ryan Lepper. Say hello.
Hi, everyone. Good to be here. I'm trying to do more of these videos for everyone to see my face a little more. I know I talk to everyone on Discord and Twitter and things, but we're going to try to do some more videos as well.
Perfect. So let's just dive in. Tell us a little bit about your career and what ultimately led you to Smart Prop Trader.
That's a loaded question.
Loaded question, I know.
So I did a lot of things. I initially was an investment guy. So I ran a large unit for JP Morgan, like a $5 billion unit. So relatively large. I also did some things with their trading desk there for a couple different currencies, the Brazilian real and the Australian dollar and the Norwegian kroner. And so when the market crashed in 2008, I was working 100 hours a week, and JP Morgan just took over Bear Stearns, and I was literally sleeping at the office for the whole week, like literally sleeping under a desk. I was unwinding some of the unique structured finance vehicles that Bear Stearns had created, and I just got burned out. And so I decided I wanted to do something more meaningful with my time. And I did, I kind of went into business for myself. I still ran money for people, but I started to become more of a real estate developer. So I started to do that. And my niche was affordable housing. So I did some really huge projects. I did buildings that were like 6, 7, 10-story buildings that were vacant and about to crumble and fall over, and restored them, did historic projects. And I did it for affordable housing. And it also had a focus on veterans. So literally there would be like a homeless veteran that would walk in the night before they slept on a bench. Then they would walk into a $250,000 apartment, fully furnished, fully subsidized by the government. And in the process, I got the government to start funding it. So Ben Carson's unit with HUD would fund these projects. Here about 7 to 10 million a pop. And I did multiple projects like that. And I'll probably do them again someday. But I always kind of missed the investment world. And the investment world that I knew had become very institutionalized, and really like the hedge funds ran everything. The retail investor didn't really have much of a shot at being successful, other than let's buy something and hold it for 30 years. And then by default, it's more than likely going to appreciate. So I was always kind of searching to get back into the investment world. And then I came across the prop firm space, and I linked up with Blake on LinkedIn. We didn't know each other, and we started talking, and he had this prop firm that he was starting, and did formal interviews and things like that. And his interviews were fun. And he gave me like a list of questions to come back, like gave me like a Q&A type test kind of thing in the second interview. And we just kind of hit it off. And I was kind of fascinated with the industry because it reset everything to be more in line with retail investors, with individual people, and giving them a shot. And I could just see, just huge potential. And I always said, if I wanted to get back into the investment industry, I wanted to do it kind of more in a unique, unorthodox way. And what better way to do it than through prop firms and through someone who's like the king of the prop firm world, right? He is well known. He's very well respected. And, that it just, everything kind of like made the check for me. And so, so then we started, that was February of 22. We started to build out the prop firm. When I came here, it was literally incorporated. That was it. And there was a website. There was no, the back end infrastructure there was none, zero. There was no technology. So he really brought me on to kind of spearhead the build out of it. And of course he was instrumental in that whole process. And so we took, we have the same mindset. We took 6 to 8 months to build it out perfectly. You see a lot of these prop firms just pop up overnight, and most of them don't last. They don't have the right infrastructure. And there's a lot of things that can go wrong. There's a ton that can go wrong, and there's a ton that does go wrong initially. And, you really have to like, sometimes you don't know that something needs to be fixed until it breaks. And
Mhm.
so we did that, and along the way things broke, and things continued to, even when we started. But we started in October, early October of 22, and it's been like a steady upward like climb since then. Obviously we have the luxury of having Blake's presence and Blake doing videos on SPT and talking about it and things. So that's certainly helped. But I think that we built a company that's kind of a well-oiled machine. It's well engineered right now, and it's working very smooth. We're very much known for how awesome our customer support is. We're known for how quickly we do payouts. There's ancillary things like we're the least inexpensive in the industry, and I don't want to like focus our brand on that, because sometimes, like I said
Right.
before, you get what you pay for, right? And I don't want
Mhm.
to, right now people are getting an inexpensive prop firm that's a top notch, like top caliber prop firm.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's kind of what, how it all happened. That's the story. I mean, I could go into like all kinds of details on so much along the way that would take hours probably to explain itself, but that's like kind of the high level version.
Awesome. So, rewinding a little bit, you kind of touched on it, but paint the picture for me. So, you and Blake connect. He has this idea of starting a prop firm. Tell me what that conversation was like, and was there any interesting tidbits you can share from those conversations that
Yeah. I mean, so
may not
he, Blake, remember he's also a co-founder and creator of the Funded Trader. So, and he was a trader himself. So, he had already had the idea to start his own prop firm, and it's not. He didn't have it with the mindset of starting like I'm going to start a competitor to the Funded Trader, some of these other companies. He wanted to start a prop firm that focused on a specific type of trader. And so it's okay that there's many prop firms. The good ones all have a different niche, and they focus on a different type of trader.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, he brought me on. I mean, honestly, to be honest with you, I wasn't ultra familiar with the prop firm space.
Mhm.
I was familiar with proprietary trading in terms of like a bank model, like J.P. Morgan, for instance. They did proprietary trading until all of a sudden you couldn't do it. And when the market crashed in 2008, they kind of nixed all that within the big money center banks and investment houses.
Mhm.
So it was a little unique to me. And so, he was asking me different questions, and I'm like, can I come back and can I Google that and come back to you? Can I, and so he kind of gave me an open book test. He left me with a bunch of questions, and he was nice enough to do it, kind of do an open book test. And we did another call. I had everything memorized. It was probably like I was reading a script to him, but I really did become fascinated, and I know why he did it now, because the questions, Blake's mind is very strategic. And he doesn't do anything that he doesn't already know like 10 steps ahead, like what he's trying to accomplish. And
Right.
so by those questions that he gave me, it kind of gave me pieces of the industry, and I was able to kind of tie them all together. So yeah, that's kind of how it happened. And along the way, I learned a lot. There's a lot of commonalities, and I'm familiar with a lot of things. Like I know currencies, I know trading, gold, um, metals, indices, crypto. Like I'm very familiar with all of it. This was a different type of model, though, where anywhere that I've ever worked, or had a senior level position, has always been more institutionalized. It's never been focused on giving an individual a shot. And then we started talking more about that, and a lot of this industry has like there's definitely good companies, and then there's also good companies that tarnish it, and they tarnish it with their marketing. We talk about this a lot, like the Lamborghini marketing and the boats and helicopters and just stupid stuff. They look like clowns, and they truly do. And they have a following, so they're going to be successful, but their demographic is never going to change, because
Right.
people like that are old, like an old man, like I am. I'm not that old, but people like me, or like other demographics that we're trying to target, they don't want to hear that stuff. It's just
Mhm.
silly, and it's so tarnishing and so counterproductive to the industry. and it breathes red flag and scam all over it. And so we're trying to be different. We're trying to be a professional, but yet still fun, cutting edge, innovative
Right.
firm. But I think that we can accomplish that by still being professional. I mean, I cite companies like FTMO, for instance. FTMO is professional. You don't ever see videos of Lamborghinis and watches and,
Right.
private planes, and they seem to be doing just fine. So I
Mhm.
think that, as we evolve, we're going to be more like that, but we're going to be a little more innovative and still have some fun and be kind of a unique, cool company. So I really think that we will be the next number one at some point here, and I don't think it's going to be a long period before we end up getting there.
Yeah, I have to agree. And I know you kind of touched on the fact that, we have the lowest pricing and we really focus on customer service and transparency. So, going off of that, how is Smart Prop Trader different from other platforms you've seen in the industry? And how are you and Blake different from other prop firm leads that maybe you've met or have seen,
Yeah,
along the prop firm industry?
I think I'm going to start that with kind of a cliche statement. It's like a trading company that's created by traders for traders. Like everybody
Mhm.
says that, right? It's just
Right.
that everybody says that one line. The difference is that we really did do that, and the further difference is typically with prop firms, they're doing changes or they're finding savings, they're doing changes, alterations to their model or whatever that is in the interest of the prop firm, right? It's not. It's
Mhm.
not. It's very rarely in the interest of the trader. They make a drawdown kind of worse. They increase
Mhm.
the targets, that kind of thing. What we've been able to do is we continue to find savings, and we find savings by creating efficiencies. And Blake is kind of a master with spreadsheets and things. Like we went over a spreadsheet the other day, and I don't know what kind of formulas he was using and things. But like the spreadsheet basically like was like a human. Like it could talk, it could almost like talk to you, and like it did everything. And it was pretty cool. But
Wow.
because of that, we're able to like pinpoint little different things on, I mean, really detail into like the inner workings of an account and what's working and what's not, and we modify. And when we do that and we create savings, what we've decided to do for since we the last few months where we've been focused on this is we've taken that savings and put it back into the model, right? We've done it in the for the benefit of traders. So when I say that, I mean like we create a savings on one side, and instead of taking that and pocketing it or buying a helicopter or a boat or a yacht or something, right? We instead, I mean, I wouldn't mind a helicopter really, but I'm just kidding.
We
We'll
all
set it right
know.
on my roof. So what we've done is we change something for the trader. So instead of like a 7.5% max draw, we increased it to 8%.
Mhm.
Instead of having a 7.5% price target, profit target for phase one, we dropped it to the industry lowest 7%. And so we were able to do that only because we don't, obviously we're, that just hurts us. It doesn't help us at all. It's good for traders because more traders will pass and become funded and get payouts. But ultimately, we're able to do that because we take that savings that we find based on um, finding dislocations and then creating efficiencies out of them, and we put
Mhm.
that back into the model. So I think that that's what makes us different more than anything, and what makes Blake and I different as leaders, because we're constantly looking for ways to. I always say give back, but it's not a charitable thing. I mean, we do some charitable things within the company, but we're really just trying to make this the best platform, the most efficient, and give people the best bang for their buck when they're purchasing an evaluation account.
Yeah. And along the lines of, being transparent and open with our traders and wanting our traders to succeed, something you see in the industry quite often is this massive push for discount codes and promo codes and this and that. And obviously, there's a time and a place for promotions, right? But can you touch on the importance of knowing that you're getting a good price, but not being blinded by companies that are like pushing constant promotions. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
I think people are so blinded by we're having a sale, but with Smart Prop Trader, we're transparent in the fact that you're getting a great price and probably a lower price than what that promo would be,
yeah,
right?
it drives me crazy, Alexis. So, I often get people. I just got a couple yesterday. So a trader will email me and say, "Do you have a discount code?" My reply is always, "Every day's a discount here. I mean, you don't
Right.
need a discount code."
That's always my response too.
Right. So I'm like, I get them talking to me. Well, I'm getting a 10% discount at this place, and I'm like, okay, let's do the math. So a 10% discount where you're at, or the place that you're looking at, after that 10% discount, you're still paying more than my price without a discount. So if you want to go ahead and pay more for a prop firm that's not even as good and that has worse rules, be my guest. That is totally you have that option if you want to do that. But I think that this industry has been it's so focused on discounts, and there's people that actually just wait for them, or they'll wait around holidays. I can definitely tell everybody that we are going to be the firm that is getting away from that. Again, I cite FTMO. You do not see FTMO coming out with all kinds of discounts every day because they don't need to. The discounts are a way to buy. You buy traders, but you don't buy their comfort level and respect. They're just going to wherever is the cheapest. And I think that the space really needs to get away from doing discounts. I mean, there's firms that do discounts almost every day of the month.
Oh yeah.
And at some point that catches up. At some point, I mean, you can only be so profitable when you're throwing discounts, and people get used to that. So then they'll sit there and wait, and they won't do anything because they know a discount's coming within a day or two. And I really think that's a bad business model. I think it was crafted by, quite honestly, I think it was crafted by people who don't really understand business or have not been in a C-suite or leadership type levels before. Because I mean, go to whatever store that you shop at, they don't offer a discount every day. I mean, that's a horrific business model for longevity. And at some point it caves. It will cave in because people become too accustomed to it. So yeah, to answer your question, I really think the whole space needs to get away from doing that. And I can honestly say we're not going to be doing that, and we're not going to continue. We've done some, and I think discounts will be reserved for amazing events like my birthday, for instance. No, I'm just kidding.
There's a
No,
time and a place.
I'm totally kidding. I am serious in saying that they'll be reserved for special events, like anniversaries, holidays, things like that. And 4th of July is coming. We may or may not do a discount. I don't know. I mean, we just lowered our prices to so inexpensive that, again, most of the places after their discount, you're still paying more. So we don't have to. And so people have to get away from just the concept of always wanting to apply a discount to something. It's just, again, it's such a poor way to market and brand yourself. There's actually prop firms that's how people view them, and is their brand is offering all kinds of discounts and stuff. So we're definitely not going to be that way. And we're willing to lose, those people that are only after discounts. We're willing to, say, okay, that's fine. I mean, if that's how you're making a business decision in terms of you're just focused on the cheapest, then I'm not really sure that I want you as a trader. I don't know that I want someone with that mindset as one of our funded traders either. So I'm okay with it, either way. But I think that's, I could go on and on about this discount issue because it's so widespread in this industry, but I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. No, I think it's just important for people to realize that regardless of the glitz and glam of a promotion, a promo code, a discount code, we're constant with our prices, and we're constant with that transparency. So make the smart choice with Smart Prop Trader.
I love the plug. Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What would you say? What's the reputation that you hope for Smart Prop Trader? What do you want SPT to be known for in the industry?
So again, I think some of the top companies, they're very professional companies. but they're stuffy, right? They're not on social media much. They're not fun. They're not doing innovative things. They're just kind of there. Then you have the flip side where there's companies that are, lots of fun and everything, but they're not professional at all.
Mhm.
So I'm looking to kind of continue to grow this as a hybrid, like a mixture of professionalism where people can feel comfortable coming, but we also apply to, I want to apply to an attorney, to a doctor, to a CPA.
Mhm.
Those type of professionals are not going to go to a company that has Lamborghinis, being delivered by helicopter to someone or whatever. They're just not going to do it. And so I'm looking to really be a hybrid mixture, which is possible. And there is no other company like it, by the way. There's only one or the other. I haven't seen one that really does it well with both sides. So going forward, I think that that's really my goal in terms of like our brand, right? The other part of that brand is like the mechanics, right? So I definitely always want our brand to be known for ultra high level customer service,
Mhm.
quick payouts, and things like that. So, and obviously offering um, a good challenge in terms not of just pricing, but of all the different metrics. And we also will be coming out with some innovative new models or and new challenges, in the next handful of months. And one will be a phase one where it's just a one phase challenge, and I will guarantee everybody that it will be the best one in the industry in terms of all the metrics attached to it. It will be by far better than what the best one is right now.
That's great to hear. So if you're watching this, stay tuned for that. So kind of like you mentioned, SPT has had a lot of changes over the last few weeks. What are you most excited about? What's your favorite change? And then what are you most excited about for the future of SPT?
Um, Gosh, I'm excited about all the changes, really, because they're all beneficial to the trader. There's not one change where we can say, well, that's better for SPT. There's not one. And I really feel great about being able to do that. And I don't think that it's ever really been done, especially not in this kind of giant way where we did, instead of one, every month or whatever, we did them all at once, a bunch of good ones all at once. And so, yeah, I think that probably I would say all of them. I really would. And then what was the second question?
I just was asking what you were most excited for the future of SPT.
So I'm really excited about the growth and about really kind of shaking up this industry. With it's been dominated by the top three for so long, and I really think that we're growing so quickly. We're going to be there relatively quick. I'm also excited to do some unique things that other firms are doing, but ours will be even better. And for instance, we're going to be rolling out the SPT VIP program, which is going to have exclusive benefits for select funded traders that are consistently profitable, and that will be things like higher payouts, most likely. I'm giving you my kind of list. This is not set in stone, but most likely it will have things like higher payouts. It will have on demand. Uh, when I say higher payouts, I mean in terms of the profit split. It will have
Mhm.
also on demand payouts where
Nice.
literally you can trade, make profit, you can take it out that day. There is no waiting period. And this will be, again, we will select the traders ourselves. There will be
Mhm.
certain criteria and stuff. And then other benefits will be, merchandise and things like that. So I'm really excited about that because I think that will, again, there's a lot of firms coming out doing that, but ours will be the best VIP program that there is. And yeah, and I guess going forward, just giving back a little bit. I think that a lot of people know that this is not going to get into spirituality or anything, but this is a Christian based organization, and we're very big on that, and we operate personally that way as well as business wise. And I'm okay with people who don't want to be part of that or talk about it. Then that's fine. But
Mhm.
we are that way, and we always will be. And as a result, I think we're the only prop firm ever in history that is given back to the extent that we have. And I mean, we've donated tens and tens of thousands of dollars to feed homeless children. We donated a very large chunk of capital to a Christian-based film to help with the marketing and things, and it ended up being very successful. So we're going to continue doing things like that, and at some point, instead of having like a discount code where we're doing that, at some point we'll do some type of code where it's if you buy a challenge, we'll contribute X amount to this charity. And so we're going to be very big on that. I think it's there's some corporate responsibility there with prop firms in any company that is generating substantial amounts of revenue to give back and to help people that are less fortunate. And so, as opposed to giving free accounts or something, we want to make more of an impact with different charitable organizations. So I would definitely let everybody know that if there is like a charitable organization that's near and dear to your heart, we would love to hear about it and so on. And it's something that we definitely would be interested in probably looking at contributing to as the future kind of unfolds.
Yeah, that's incredible. Kind of shifting into potentially new ideas with Smart Prop Trader. Obviously, we attended the FX Summit a few weeks back. I know you had a lot to say about that, not to get too much into it, but I do know that that sparked some interest in Smart Prop Trader potentially hosting a summit for specifically prop firms. Can you talk about that a little bit? Where do you stand with that? Is that still an idea kind of floating
Yeah.
around?
I won't say too much about the summit, but it was for the type of person who wants to hear that kind of stuff, then fine. I mean, when I think of that, I want to breathe professionalism. You have people
Of
on the stage
course.
swearing and using discriminatory words and just purely talking about money and possession and things. It's just not. I don't think that's a good productive use of anybody's time. I truly don't, and I don't care if people disagree with me. I literally don't. I don't care. So as we were there, and I'm not going to take away fully from the conference because the last day had some great speakers on crypto
Mhm.
and things. The closing speech was done by someone in Spanish, and it was still amazing. I mean, the story was amazing. And then they had Anthony that was up there, I believe was his name, crypto investor, runs a family office, and so that was very interesting dialogue. But I mean, the other part of the day, the first day that I was there was just it's not my thing. And then all these booths and things set up to sell and for people to, and that's fine. There's like a networking component of that. I think our idea is to do more of a summit that is more of like a conference and not a conference where it's like designed to increase business or have vendors at or anything. I think what we want to do is pool as many CEOs of different prop firms together and put this on together, but
Yeah.
have it much more educational as it relates to traders. And by that, I mean just talking about different instruments, talking about, having demonstrations, having good roundtable discussions, not about, hey, if you don't have an $800,000 watch, then, you haven't made it yet. Not
Mhm.
interested in that shit. So, I think ours will be much more tailored on education and on the prop firm space and the future of prop firms. And I think we'll have good roundtable discussions. One of the things that I would like to see come out of that is like a live Q&A, which I'm big on, where the crowd can actually ask questions, and then you have some high level heavy hitters on stage that can answer that. And it also creates kind of a vibe of constructive feedback where you can literally take and apply that to your business and make some changes to enhance things or maybe in the benefit of traders. So I think that ours will be probably centralized in Texas. It seems like a good kind of middle point for the United States, and everybody will be welcome. But there will definitely be more to follow on that. I think the
Yeah.
FX Summit they said is in Dubai this year, so SPT will not be attending that. And again, we're not looking to compete with that. We're just looking to kind of put on our own conference that is much more educational and has
Mhm.
much more content that's focused on not what the money generated from trading does, but what actually trading is and how to, you know, do it, and you know, just focus much more on the prop firm space and trading as opposed to like a possession type situation
Yeah.
or you know theme.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be huge for the industry and for traders trying to succeed in a prop firm
Yeah.
space. So, moving on, I hear you are planning a Smart Prop Trader World Tour. What led to this decision to do that, and can you tell us a little bit about what people can expect from that,
Yeah, you know,
and where you tell us where you're going
I
to?
don't know what I was thinking when you know, I obviously want to do it, but I don't know what I was thinking and doing it like, I seem to like just pack like a lot of things all in one. And people know me as being able to, you know, have a good work life balance and being able to, um, you know, work a lot. But, you know, I don't ever miss anything with my kids and, you know, I'm very involved there. And so I just have that balance figured out. I was just talking to someone from Nigeria, which is, you know, is a big trading country, and Nigerians are amazing traders. And I think someone said, well, why don't you, you know, would you ever consider coming here? No, you know, no one's ever come here. We're such a big, you know, mecca when it comes to trading, and no one's ever like, you know, we don't basically pay attention to us. I mean, of course, you know, people love to have them as clients, but you know, someone asked me that, and I'm like, maybe I will. And then I started thinking about it, and then I said, I think I pulled a question like, you know, how many people would like to see me go here? And then, you know, Blake, my boss, you know, I think he retweeted that or something and said, you know, what prop firm is willing to do this? What, you know, COO is willing to do this? And then, so then me in my natural way, I took it further. I was like, you know what? We're not going to just one country. I want to have like the top countries that we do business in. I'm going to go to all of them, and I'm going to do it all by, you know, in the next 5 months. We call it like 5 countries, 5 months. And the last two might extend into the 6 month because they're longer trips. But so I just kind of like, you know, mashed that all together. And I'm like, yeah, well, let's start looking at countries. And, you know, I'm kind of a crazy traveler like that where like the UK or Turkey, you know, I'm going to do that in like a long weekend. I'll leave on Friday and come back Tuesday, literally. Even Africa, I'm only going to go to for 5 or 6 days. I mean, I have 2 days of travel, 2 days in a hotel, and 2 days more of travel on the way back. I mean, it's only like
Wow.
20 some hours. So, yeah, it's like a
Only.
20 hour trip. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be really good. And so, as I talked or thought about that further, I thought, you know, what would I want to do there? You know, we want to make it like beneficial for people to come,
Yeah.
and it's also never been done. So I was thinking, a lot of times we do these Twitter spaces or like an Ask Me Anything event on Discord or something. So I was thinking initially, like, you know, I'll just be on stage and, you know, just kind of talk and, you know, just talk about the company, the firm, and then have like kind of like a live Q&A with the crowd. And then, you know, and that will be, you know, take a while, and we'll have people taking notes and things because we want to really listen. And I think our traders like the fact that we do listen, and we have implemented some changes that they have recommended. And
Yeah.
that stemmed a little further. And then, so then there was another CEO from another prop firm that said, hey, you know, I think maybe we should do this together. And so now there's another prop firm that's going to be there with me. And so that's going to be cool because we're going to have a couple leaders from two different prop firms on stage. And then he and I will be able to kind of have a real round table discussion between the two of us. And we'll open it up to questions for, you know, to the crowd and stuff. We'll do it, you know, big. We'll definitely be offering, you know, like food. We're going to have merchandise there. It's going to be a cool event. And, you know, I would just say to everyone, like, it's never been done and we've never done it. And, you know, Nigeria is not close to where I live. So like things like merchandise, I have to ship there. And so this is kind of like, you know, I'm sure there's some kinks that we'll have to work out after this one. But the important thing is, it's important enough to me and to SBT and Blake, to make the trip. And
Mhm.
so we're gonna do it. And I think going forward, I'm gonna at some point during the year do a world tour. I'm probably not gonna do 5 or 6 countries in 5 months like I'm doing this time. But I think going forward, like let's say 2024, I think we'll pick like 3 countries, maybe 4, and I'll do like one a quarter. And, so every 3 months I'll go to one, and and so on. So yeah, that's kind of how it was created, I guess. And
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it. It's going to be brutal. I mean, it's going to be completely brutal on me, and I'm still like nursing injury and stuff for everyone who doesn't know. Like, I know Alexis knows, but I mean, I thought I had sprained my ankle and my knee, and I walked through the airport. I went to the summit. I was on my feet all day there, and when I got home, my ankle was blown out. And I mean, I think Alexis had to crop pictures even to like to get the ankle out. But I went back to the doctor. I'm like, something's not right.
Mm.
And of course, like the first time I got X-rays and I refused the cast because I'm like, I have to travel. I can't have a cast. That's not feasible for me.
Yeah.
So I ended up having like 2 ligaments that are torn in my ankle, and I was
Oh
walking
my.
on them the whole time. And so we think we're going to be able to get away with not having surgery, but I'm hoping that this heals up and stuff in time for my first trip to Nigeria. But either way, it's going to be these are brutal. They're going to be brutal. Trips, but it's worth it. I think it says that we're super, aligned with our traders, and they matter and they're important to us. So I could easily do a live Q&A with Nigeria, only Nigeria from my house, right? But I
Mhm.
think it shows that we're willing to go above and beyond, and we're really, I would like to meet. I talk to a lot of different traders from a lot of different countries, and there's definitely several from Nigeria that I talk to consistently, and a lot of people are willing to help and want to be part of that and stuff, the
Mhm.
trip. So I am looking forward to meeting people face to face, and showing that we're very committed to their success and things like that. So
Yeah. Can you share the other stops that you're going to take along the way?
yeah, and I'm by the way, I'm taking commercial airline. I'm not taking a private jet like some.
We don't have an SPT jet.
No, we tend to we don't want to take 10% of our monthly revenue for private jets for me to do that. So some probably would do that. So yeah, so this year it's going to be Nigeria. In September, it's going to be the UK. In October, it will be Turkey, Istanbul. And then the last 2 is Melbourne and Singapore. Both of those are, pretty long trips.
Mhm.
Singapore, I probably will do this year. And then I'll probably layer in the United States into the extra month there, because
That was gonna
we want to do it here as well. And then I think Australia will probably kind of spill over into January because of like the holidays in December and things like that. And obviously, Australia is not a 4 or 5 day trip. I mean, it like takes 4 or 5 days for me to even get there.
yeah.
So, and I don't particularly love flying, to be honest with you either. So, the thought of being on a plane for like 20 hours is nauseating to me. So, yeah, so those are my stops. The following year we will take data, and we want to make sure we visit the countries where we have the most traders. And I think South Africa is definitely, in the running there. And there's some other countries that we'll definitely be going to. So I think, initially those are the main stops though. And then we'll
Awesome.
make sure that we hit the other countries. And there's also, times where I'll probably go back to the same country again, like Nigeria. I'm sure that could be an annual thing. Even I mean, we have a lot of traders there, so that's definitely potential. The UK and the United States the same. I mean, we have a lot of traders in both of those places, so the odds of us doing repeat conferences is pretty good.
Good. Yeah, and for people that don't follow you on social media or aren't in our Discord channel yet, first of all, what are you doing? Join our Discord. Follow Ryan on Twitter and Smart Prop Trader on Twitter. But you pride yourself on your transparency with our community. As you said, you mentioned your ankle and the sacrifices you took to be, at the summit, and you're always letting our traders know where you're at because you personally do the trade outs or the payouts. Sorry. Can you just tell our audience and our traders like how important that is for you, for everybody to know where you stand
Yeah.
and why you care so much about that?
Yeah. So I mean, that's usually something I could delegate, right? I mean,
Mhm.
I have lots of people that I could have help me with that or do it. I prefer to do it myself, even though, it does, sometimes it takes a beating on me, but by me doing it, I know it's done right always. And I know that, these are, we've paid out, we're getting close to the 2 million mark. I mean, I don't know that I want that kind of money going through anyone else's hands. So I'm more comfortable kind of, keeping that one thing with me only.
Yeah.
But it is very important to me because I'm not trying to ever stand in the way of someone and their money, right? It's hard enough to pass a challenge or evaluation and on phase one, and then phase two, and then when you become funded, I mean, there's a lot of people who, they may breach their funded account before they even get a payout. So the fact, of the people that do make their way to a payout, and obviously there's tons of people that do,
Mhm.
but the odds are, are not great. You have to, it becomes a game of consistency and repetition.
Mhm.
But when you get there and it could be small. Like, I mean, there's payouts that I do like $200, but that's meaningful to a lot of people, right? And so I'm not looking to stand in the way of people and their money. It's an exciting thing for them. You can see it when they post the payouts and how excited they are. So like I literally do it. I can do payouts from my phone, and to be honest with you guys, like I don't really go too many places without my laptop. So
Mhm.
there's often times where like I'll pull over and I'll hook to my hotspot on my phone and I'll do things from my laptop. Literally, it's like a watch to me, which is kind of sad, but it's good for all of you. And I'll give you a great story. Well, it's not a great story, but I'll give you a story of my commitment. When I was uh, one of the last days of school that I was picking up my kids, I parked on a side street in front of a house, just kind of like pull up and parked. And I was waiting. I had my middle son in the car with me. I always park on, to make sure that he gets out on the sidewalk, so on the sidewalk side. And so I'm the one kind of in danger of getting out on the road, right? And there was a car that was going like 45 or 50 in a residential area. And I literally opened my door. And because of my ankle, I have to get out slower. So this is like God working divine order, right? Like, so I was really pissed off and mad about this ankle thing and slowing me down because I don't like that. Well,
Mhm.
I ended up being for a good reason. So I get out of the car a lot slower. I opened my door, like 4 seconds later, a car hit my door and ripped it right off my car, literally. So had I not had my ankle issue, I would have probably at least had my left leg shattered the best case scenario. The worst case, the car would have hit me. And so, of course, my car wasn't even on, by the way. Of course, the person's like, well, had a fit that it was my fault. So I said, listen, I'm going to walk to get my child from school. My door is literally laying on the road. Like I literally picked my door up and moved it over to the sidewalk. I literally got ripped right off my car. And I said, I'm going to walk, I had like a 5-minute walk to get my son because I park, to avoid the congested traffic. So I said, I'm going to get my son and come back, call the police or whatever. And, I literally moved my kids on the sidewalk while I was waiting for the police. I literally did two payouts, and
Wow.
so, and that's a true story. And I wish those two people knew about that because I would love for them to post, the time and everything. But I literally did two while I was waiting for the police, and so you can imagine how rattled you are. I mean, I almost died. My car door is not even attached to my car anymore. So I literally was able to do that. And so that's a level of commitment that most people don't have. The other quick story I would give you is that I never miss my kids' sports. And halftime is like my best friend because at halftime I do payouts or I create deal contracts or whatever. And so I have the one thing about me is I'm very passionate about this company. And let's say that to traders, like if you're not passionate about trading or passionate about what you do, it's impossible it's not even logical that you will ever be successful at it. So you have to
Mhm.
love it. And I love this so much, and I love working with everybody so much, and putting a smile on someone's face when they see that payout coming. That I incorporate the business into my personal day to day. So it's like part of my personal life. I don't even almost view it as work and personal. I view it all kind of commingled together, and as a result, I've been able to figure that out. And lots of points of my personal life or points in the day, I am working too, because I just view it all as the same. And I think
Mhm.
that's one thing that has made me stand out and be way different than most people. Like a lot of people will just they shut down at 5 o'clock or they shut down on the weekends. I don't do that. I mean, I work every day of the week, and I work at every weird hour on given days that people could possibly think of. Like on the weekends, I'm with my kids during the day, and I when they go to bed, I'm working until like 1 or 2 in the morning, literally, and that's on
Mhm.
a Saturday where it's not even busy. But anyways, yeah. So that's hopefully answers your question in my normal long-winded approach.
No, I think that was the perfect way to wrap this up. Thank you so much for your time today, and I think our audience, our traders, will really appreciate your transparency and honesty, and hopefully make the smart choice.
Yeah, I think so too, and I thank everyone for taking the time to listen. And if you made it through the end of the video and I didn't bore you completely, then that's awesome. I would be curious to know your Alexis. I definitely would like to know your feedback on how this went and things, because this is not my cup of tea. So I tried my best, but you know I guess we'll see how it shakes out. But let me know what you think, and definitely everybody, thank you for listening, watching, and let me know. Like comment when we do post this on if you want to see more videos
Mhm.
like this and more from me. And Alexis kind of as a duo on some videos.
Perfect. Well, we'll see you guys next time.
All right, thank you.